Hi, welcome to HealthShare Health Insight New and Next. My name is Jin Kim. I'm a product specialist and product owner for HealthShare Health Insight. Today, in this session, we will be taking a look at first, what is Health Insight and what is available in Health Insight today. Then, focus on the features we worked on during 2021. And lastly, discuss the short-term roadmap that we will be focusing on for the upcoming year, 2022. First, starting with the question, what is Health Insight? Our Health Insight team's mission is to help you unlock the value of shared, unified health information. We want to help you leverage all of your information assets for analytics and deliver the actionable insights when and where needed. Taking a look at a sample scenario where a patient named Marla Gonzalez visits a hospital, they may have had visits to many clinics in the past where they may have had all different EMR systems like Epic and Cerner. This patient may also have a variety of different lab results, different claims data, and they may also have non-clinical data like social determinants of health. In order to perform any kind of analytics, the first step really is to bring all the different sources of data into a single place. And that's where HealthShare suite of products, particularly Unified Care Record, would help normalize, aggregate, and deduplicate all of the data into a single platform. Unified Care Record can take all the data from EMRs, claims, FHIR repositories, HL7, X12, FHIR, and once the data is brought into Unified Care Record, Health Insight then takes the next step of taking the data from Unified Care Record and turning them into an analytics reflection, SQL tables. Once the data is brought into SQL tables, you can also make cubes, and you can also leverage our JDBC and ODBC adapters so that you can connect some of the BI tools like Tableau, Power BI, or some of your other existing investments in BI tools. And you can also connect some of InterSystems analytics tooling as well, some of which we'll be covering today. And those include adaptive analytics, data robot, integrated ML, and InterSystems Reports. With all of the data brought into Health Insight, you can then also create sample dashboards like this one. This is a sample COVID-19 dashboard in Health Insight. We're at the top left here. It shows you a breakdown of all of the test results, whether it be positive, negative, or pending. At the bottom here, you see a breakdown of the COVID tests by age and gender. And you can also drill into individual lab test order details as well. I prepared a brief run through of a demo to share with you, with everyone here. And in order to generate the data in Health Insight, I've gone ahead and used the Cynthia patient generator that's publicly available on GitHub. Using this utility, I've generated patient data in the form of FHIR R4, and I've populated the HealthShare Unified Care Record instance with the sample FHIR R4 data coming from Cynthia. Here is a sample of what one of those FHIR resources would look like. It is in JSON format. Once we put it into Unified Care Record, we're now ready to transfer this data into Health Insight. All of the patient data coming in via FHIR R4 into Unified Care Record, now transferred into Health Insight's relational data model. We're now ready to query all of these patients at a population level. What you see here on the screen is a very basic query running against a patient table. So this is a listing of all of the patients that will be available within Health Insight, populated from the Cynthia FHIR R4 data. On the left here, you see, in addition to the query that I've run on the patient table, a number of other tables that's included as part of the Health Insight relational data model, just listing a few like lab result, medical claim line, medication, observation, and the list goes on and on so that we can really get granular into delivering the different kinds of data elements that you need to use in your queries. Here is another sample query a little more complex than the last one, where this performed an inner join between the encounter table and the patient table so that we can view a list of patients who had an encounter type of emergency, meaning they had an emergency visit in their longitudinal record. And this is the list of all the patients, including their MPI ID, family name, given name, gender, birthday, address, and also the admit reason as well. There is also an experience lab titled Exploring Healthcare Analytics with InterSystems that goes more in depth into working with the data off of Health Insight. So I'd encourage you to check out that experience lab as well. Now, I'd like to pivot to sharing with you some of what's new in 2021. The work that the Health Insight team has been working on in 2021 can largely be broken down into 3 different buckets of areas. First is performance and storage. Second is analytics user experience. And third is the healthcare data model. First up is performance and storage. This version of Health Insight introduces a new procedure for improving performance in Health Insight's data ingestion process. In previous releases, there was a business host responsible for handling a certain type of message called analytics queue request. And in some systems, large numbers of these messages could have led to long turnaround times between the request and response messages. Now, in this version of Health Insight 21.2, we established a procedure for creating a new dedicated registry business host for processing analytics queue request messages that can help improve performance with data ingestion. Now, the second point is around storage, where block level compression reduces the overall storage footprint, meaning the amount of disk required. Depending on the data cardinality or the extent of repetition in data values, compression can reduce storage consumption significantly. The next bucket of area is the analytics user experience, where Health Insight in 2021, we have added support to work with new analytics toolsets that have been made available by InterSystems. First is adaptive analytics, and second is the InterSystems Reports. Starting off with adaptive analytics, this is a business-oriented virtual data model layer between Health Insight and popular business intelligence and also artificial intelligence tools. It includes an intuitive drag and drop user interface for developing a data model in the form of virtual cubes, where data can be organized, calculated measures can be consistently defined, and data fields can be clearly named. In this sample layout here, I've gone ahead and taken the patient table and the encounter table to create a dashboard showing the breakdown of all of the patients and the different types of encounters like inpatient, outpatient, and emergency visits that they've had within the organization. I've also gone ahead and created a number of dimensions, the address dimension off of the patients, and also the encounter type and the admit reason off of the encounter table. This kind of tooling enables organizations to solve the problem of differing definitions in calculations to provide their end users with one consistent view of business metrics and data characterization, which can now be used in reports and dashboard with tools like Power BI and Tableau. And now here's a sample encountered data dashboard showing a breakdown of length of stay. As I mentioned before, here are the 3 different types of encounters: emergency, inpatient, outpatient. And what you see here on the right is the total number of days across each of the encounter types. We can even break this down even further, since I've included the admit reason as one of the dimensions, where now emergency visits are now broken down into different types of admit reasons, and now it shows the corresponding number of days for each. The second area that we've added support for in the analytics user experience is InterSystems Reports. InterSystems Reports is a robust modern reporting solution that includes an embedded operational reporting capability, which can be customized by both report developers, and end users. It supports pixel-perfect formatting that lets you develop highly specific form grids or any other special layouts and elements for documents and forms, bandit layouts that provide structure for aggregated and detailed data, and also large-scale dynamic report scheduling and distribution, including the ability to export to a variety of different types like PDF, Excel files, HTML, web reports, XML, and etc. Now on the left here, you will see a pane called data. This is where you would define your data source connections to Health Insight. You can define a data source connection either over JDBC, or you can also define REST API endpoints to transfer the data between Health Insight and InterSystems Reports. And here you have an arsenal of tooling around the different types of visualizations, graphs, charts, and grids that you can use to create your reports and dashboards. And so for those of you who have used a tool like Power BI, you'll find that you have very similar tool set with InterSystems Reports as well. Here is a sample report that was created using the data coming in from Health Insight, and we've published it as a web view, and here is what the sample rep report looks like. And of course, you can customize this to whichever way you see fit for your end users to be able to consume these reports. The next bucket of work that we've completed in 2021 is around the healthcare data model. Our team has made a number of claims data updates to Health Insight's relational data model. Now, consistent with HealthShare Unified Care Records claims data updates in 21.1, Health Insight now in 21.2 supports those claims data updates with the following tables. The column on the left here you see are existing claims tables that have existed in Health Insight, the likes of medical claim line, member enrollment, diagnosis, guarantor, and procedure. But we have added a number of enhancements and properties to solidify and better support the ability to work with claims data. We have added also a number of new claims tables like pharmacy claim line, medical explanation of benefit, medical explanation of benefit line, pharmacy EOB, member policy amount, billing process note, EOB supporting info, process note, and related claim. The EOB supporting info, process note, and related claim tables all have a source of data property and include many-to-one relationships to medical claim, pharmacy claim, medical explanation of benefit, and pharmacy explanation of benefit. Both the existing procedure and diagnosis tables also have new source of data properties. All four aforementioned many-to-one relationships have been added to the procedure table, while diagnosis has many-to-one relationships with medical explanation of benefit and medical claim tables. In addition, indices have been added to various properties across these tables as well, so that queries can be run in an optimized way around these tables. And of course, custom indices can be added as well. Now, I'd like to share with you what's on the horizon and what is coming up ahead for Health Insight as it relates to our roadmap for the year of 2022. First area is performance. We realize that we have many customers in healthcare with millions and millions of patients, and that number continues to grow by the day. And we have a keen focus on improving the performance on our Health Insight platform. And some of those areas can be broken down into the data ingestion process, bringing the data into Health Insight, data transfer process, where the data brought in from Unified Care Record is mapped to the relational healthcare data model within Health Insight. And lastly, query performance, where we also want to be able to run even complex queries in a performant manner. Next area of work is around MaxLen data validation handling. For example, let's say that you have a property, first name within the patient table. If you have a data element that comes in that's over 1,000 characters, you know right away that something's not right, and perhaps a different element, like maybe a clinician note ended up in the name by accident. Previously, Health Insight had validation handling so that those kind of elements wouldn't make it into Health Insight. But now we want to expand upon that, where we want to empower users to be able to review the length of inbound data coming in so that they can ensure the quality of the data within Health Insight. Next, we absolutely want to continue developing and updating our healthcare data model. We will continue to make updates in sync with the HealthShare Unified Care Record team, and we also want to take a look at the ability to work with various data sets coming from outside of UCR. Some of those data sets may include census data, income by zip code, social determinants of health, and many other non-clinical data sets that may be very helpful for analytics end users to work with. Lastly is the analytics end user experience, where as we continue to develop Health Insight, we absolutely want to keep the end user in mind, such as the data analyst and data scientist. Like we have added support for analytics tooling like adaptive analytics and InterSystems Reports, we want to continue down this path of continue thinking about what tools can we add and what kind of out-of-box solutions would be helpful for a data analyst and data scientist to work with the data within Health Insight. Now, as a wrap, some of the key takeaways from this presentation is that Health Insight is really excited for and will continue to work on areas around performance, data model, and the end user UX. Around performance in 2021, we have improved the performance around data ingestion, and moving forward, we will continue to focus not only on the data ingestion process, but also the data transfer and the query performance as well. And around their data model, which can be accessed by SQL, in 2021, we have added a number of claims data updates. And as we move forward, we will continue to make updates to our data model, and we will also take a look at max-len validation handling, where we want to empower end users to ensure the quality of the data coming into Health Insight. And absolutely the last and important bucket is the end user UX, where we absolutely want to keep in mind data analysts and data scientists who are using Health Insight to perform the different type of analytics work within their organization, whether it be creating dashboards or delivering reports. In 2021, we have added support for analytics tooling like adaptive analytics and InterSystems Reports, and we will continue to focus on the analytics end user. As a next step following this presentation, I encourage you to attend some of the other sessions on New and Next presented from other HealthShare product managers. Also, the HealthShare Analytics Solution session on creating and delivering real-time insight at scale. And also the Experience Lab that I had mentioned earlier on exploring healthcare analytics with InterSystems, which will get you hands-on with InterSystems Health Insight, adaptive analytics, and also integrated ML. There are also many more resources available on learning.intersystems.com, so I encourage you to check that out as well. If you have any questions on today's presentation, or if you would like to reach out to me, here is my email address, jin.kim@intersystems.com, and thank you for attending today's session.